what benefits can being a REIT bring you?
I mean, if you look at REIT structures around the world, the US first introduced their REIT structure over 50 years ago. It took time to take off. It wasn't until the early 90s when they took their UPREIT structure, and really that market took off from that point in time. And I suppose from that point there's been a slide and scale in a way of REIT structures introduced around the world. So I think to attract global investors, it's an extremely important a vehicle to put in place with a view to attracting in investors that know the structure from around the world.
When you look at the South African real estate market, what stands out for you? Is it a market which you think big foreign investors will now start to invest in, or do new steps need to be taken?
I think you must put South Africa in context. We looked at the 12 companies, the 12 listed companies today. It has a combined free float market cap of nearly 14 trillion euros. And when you look at that compared to some of the European countries, it's bigger than Germany in market cap terms. It's bigger than the Netherlands. It's bigger than Belgium. So, when you compare it with some of the developed countries in our European index, I mean, it stacks up. It actually stacks up quite well. I think the real task for the South African REITs is now to, attract in investors. There's got to be education put in place, and you've really got to show how, the type of assets that investors can pick up when they're investing in the vehicle. So I would say, I mean, the story as a whole is a very positive one. And like all of these things, it's down to the marketing, the promotion, and the education going forward.
Can you elaborate a bit on trends that we're finding in REITs globally?
Over the last 10 years, we've seen a trend in the industry to move away from local investing or regional investing. So, historically, the Europeans would invest in the local markets or just in the European region as a whole. I think, mid-2000s, we began to see a move away from that trend, and we began to see a real demand for global investment products. So really, a broadly global diversified portfolio. What you'd seen over that kind of transition is more and more kind of global funds come to the market. So I think if you looked at early 2000s, there was probably 10 or 15 funds that you can choose from. These days, I think now there's over 400 funds. So that's really a trend that's taken off. So the move away from local or regional investing and more kind of a global approach to listed real estate or REIT investing.